Hey everyone, Travis Robertson here, CEO and founder of Robertson Coaching International, where we help people just like you create businesses that support your life, not businesses that run your life. And today we are wrapping up our three-part series on fear and how do we overcome the different fears in our business and our life that are really keeping us from getting to where we want to go. And as I mentioned in the first video, we are only born with two fears hardwired into us. That's it. Only two fears, the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Every other fear we have is a learned fear, meaning that we can unlearn it. So if we can unlearn it, we have to understand how to, number one, identify the fear, and then ultimately how to attack that fear or how to counteract or counterbalance that fear so that we can move past it and we don't let it hold us back from achieving the big goals or the big dreams that we have for our business or for our life. And as we talked about in the first video, the first category is what we call loss pain. It's the fear of the pain that may come from losing something that we kind of value in the pursuit of something else. So we talked about that. In the second one, we talked about what we call the hardship pain or the process pain, right? This is the fear of stepping out of our comfort zone into the journey itself. And like, I don't know if I can get out of my comfort zone. And if that's something you struggle with, I want you to go back and watch video number 2. Now in today's video, what we're going to be covering is what we call outcome pain, right? This is kind of fear of the outcome, or maybe you've heard it called fear of success. That's really what people are talking about, is the outcome itself. And more often than not, it presents in a couple of different ways. Number one is this: what happens if I go through this process, go through this pain, go through this hardship, and I achieve everything that I say that I want, only to get to the other side and find out the grass ain't really greener? You know, what do I do then if I say that I want to make more money in my business and I do it, but I'm no better off and I'm not enjoying my business anymore and I'm not enjoying my life anymore and I don't have any more money at the end of the year than I thought? What was the point, right? And maybe it's the other one, which is that, well, what if I do all of this and I get there and I achieve what I say that I want, only to relapse and not allow it to stick, right? And it's kind of that fear of the success being maybe too much for you to handle or too much for you to deal with on an ongoing basis. And you're afraid that now people are going to see you as somebody who achieved something only to fail to maintain it, right? And so how do we deal with this? Well, the first thing we need to understand is that requires stick strategies, right? Because what we're really afraid of is not being able to maintain it and not being able to have something that we enjoy. So the first is we understand that what we need is, as we're building the business, as we're moving towards the goal, we need to start creating new habits and new processes and new systems that are going to allow us to stick with what we have so that we don't relapse, right? So if you know that you want to lose weight, you have to start building this habit or routine into your life so that it becomes a part of what you do, and you have a way of making it stick beyond just the initial weight loss goal. Well, it's the same in business. If you want to get to, let's say, $500,000 in income, well, you know that you're going to need a certain level of systems and support and teams and processes to not only get to $500,000, but ultimately to maintain it and then maybe even grow beyond there. But if all you do is just push and push and push and work harder and harder and harder to get $500,000, you can do it. But then at the end of the year, you aren't going to be able to maintain it because you didn't put any of the other foundation in place that allows you to repeat it. So you've got to focus on not just the effort of getting where you want to go, but building the strategies and the stick strategies that are going to allow you to maintain it. That's one thing you need to do. Now, what about the other part, which is what happens if I get there and the grass isn't really greener on the other side? Well, what we need to understand is that it's not so much about the destination that we're headed, it's about who we're becoming on the journey towards that destination. You see, what that usually means is that we've assumed that making more money is going to make us happier, or losing more weight is going to make us happier. And while it certainly can contribute to the quality of life that we have, by itself, it's not going to make us happy. Instead, what we need to understand is that the person we become in the pursuit of the goal is ultimately what we're going to find the most pride in. Look, I know a lot of people who make a tremendous amount of money and who've had an enormous amount of success in their business and in their life, and what they'll be the first ones to tell you is it's not about the money. It's about who they became in the pursuit of that. And they understood how to test themselves, how to challenge themselves. And they started to realize that, you know what, they're capable of more than they ever gave themselves credit for. And that you could take all the money away from them. And you could take all the toys, all the boats, all the cars, all the planes, you could take all that away from them. and they could rebuild it almost overnight because they know what they're capable of, because what they value more than anything else is not the money, not the toys, not the destination, but the person they became on the road to the journey. So we just need to change the way that we view it and realize that it's about who I'm becoming, and it's about building the strategies and the systems and the support to make sure that not only can I get there once, but I can repeat it over and over and over and actually grow from there and take it to a whole nother level when I'm ready to do it. So I believe in every single one of you to be able to overcome these 3 different areas of pain, these 3 different areas of fear that almost every pain that we have or every fear that we have is categorized into. Loss pain being the first one, hardship pain being the second one, and that fear of the outcome, that fear of the success, and are we able to really handle it? All of those things, you have the power to understand it and to fight it, because these are learned behaviors. You are not born with these fears. You've learned them and you can unlearn them. So if you've enjoyed this video series, please do me a favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, and make sure you leave a comment. Let me know which part of the series you enjoyed most. And also do me a favor, make sure you share it with somebody else, because you never know who needs to hear this message. You don't know who in your friend feed or in your email list is just maybe needing to hear a message like this. So make sure you share it with somebody, because you might just make somebody's day. And I look forward to serving you in the next video. Take care, you guys.
Yes.